So, hey guys. We're going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers with regrouping. So, the last lesson we talked about subtracting mixed numbers, but there was no regrouping involved. And I showed you how to do it without visuals. So, just to refresh your memory, we're going to do a problem right here. So, 2 and 4 sevenths minus 1 and 2 sevenths. If you remember the steps, I asked you to stack them, right, on top of each other. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put the bigger mixed number on top. Okay, and then I go ahead and remember I need to subtract my mixed numbers first. So 4 sevenths minus 2 sevenths. Well, I just subtract the numerator, so 4 minus 2 is 2. And I keep the denominators the same, it should be 7. Now I'm ready to subtract my whole numbers. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So the answer is 1 and 2 sevenths, okay? So that's pretty straightforward. Now we're going to come into what do we do when we have to regroup. So if I give you a problem like this one, 5 and 4 twelfths minus 3 and 8 twelfths. Again, you would go through the same process. You would stack your numbers, the larger fraction or mixed number on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, we're going to start with subtracting the fractions first. Well, 4 twelfths minus 8 twelfths. If you notice something about that, it's a little different, right? I cannot subtract 8 from 4. That doesn't work, right? So that's where regrouping comes in place. Now, you're already used to regrouping when you do subtraction. You're just used to doing it with whole numbers. So if I give you the whole number, let's see, 42 minus 23. Okay, you know how to do that and how to regroup. You probably wouldn't even need, you could do this mentally. But let's, for this one, we're just going to do it, we're going to shift to 10, right? So I can't take 3 from 2. So I have to shift to 10. Well, where do I shift it from? Well, I go next door to the tens place. Okay, that becomes a 3. I give that 10 to the 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. Now I can go ahead and subtract in my ones column. 12 minus 3 is 9, and 3 minus 2 is 1, okay? So I have 19, the answer is 19. So we know all about regrouping, okay? We can regroup when using subtracting mixed numbers, okay? Except we're not going to shift a 10. So get 10 out of your head. We're shifting a 1, a whole. So let's look at this again. 4 twelfths minus 8 twelfths. We can't do that. We have to shift the whole, but where do we shift it from? I'm going to show you a visual up here because I like pictures before we get into doing it without visuals. So this is a problem where it says 5, oops, that's upside down, sorry guys. 3 and 1/5 minus 2 and 2/5. And over here I have the visuals. These represent both of those mixed numbers. So I went ahead and I stacked it, so I have it stacked, but I can't subtract 2/5 from 1/5, can I? Can't subtract 2 from 1/5. So I have to shift a whole. Well, I'm going to shift it from the 3. So I'm going to take off 1. Okay, I'm going to get rid of 1 whole. Okay, well, I'm going to give that 1 whole to the 1/5. But we're going to rewrite our whole as a fraction. Now, what is the denominator in these mixed numbers? We're talking about fifths, right? 5/5. So how would I write that as a whole if we're talking about fifths? Well, 5/5 is the same as a whole. So I'm going to take this whole, or 5/5, and I'm going to give it over here to the 1/5. Okay, so it'll look like this. So I have 1/5, and I'm going to add to that 5/5. 1/5 plus 5/5 is 6/5. So I have a improper fraction, right? The reason we want to do that is so we can subtract this 2/5 from that. I could do that now. 6/5 minus 2/5 would be 4/5. Okay, so 4/5. Now I have to remember I have to subtract my whole numbers. Well, I got rid of one whole, right? So I only have 2 left. So 2 minus 2 would be 0. I'm going to show you that up here. So this is the non-visual. So if you look at non-visual, 2 minus 2 would be 0, okay? So that's how you would do it visually. Now let's do that without visuals. Okay, let's look at this problem again. I want to start with subtracting my fraction parts first. I can't subtract 8/12 from 4/12, so I'm going to shift a whole. I'm going to take that whole from the 5, and that's going to become a 4. Well, a whole in this case, we're talking about 12s. Always look at your denominator. Since we're talking about 12s, a whole would be 12/12. I'm going to give that 12/12 to the 4/12. I'm going to add it. What is 4/12 plus 12/12? Well, that's 16/12. Okay. Now I can do my subtraction. Okay. I can take 8/12 from 16/12. 16 minus 8 is 8. The denominator stays the same. I have 8/12. Now I subtract my whole numbers. Remember, I got rid of a whole, so I have four wholes minus 3 wholes, which would be 1. So I have 1 and 8/12. Okay, we're going to do another example. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 and 3/9 minus 1 and 5/9. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and restack my number with a larger mixed number on top. Okay. And then I start with my fraction parts. Let me screen back so you can see all of it. Okay, and then I cannot take 5/9 from 3/9, so I'm going to have to shift a whole. I'm going to take this whole from the 3. So take 1 away, that becomes a 2. Well, I'm giving a whole, okay, but in this case, our denominator is 9. So a whole would be 9/9. I'm going to give that 9/9 to the 3/9. I'm going to add it to it. Okay, so 3/9 plus 9/9 equals 12/9. Now I can subtract my fractions. 12/9 minus 5/9. Well, I know 12 minus 5 is 8. I'm sorry, 7. Sorry, guys. Okay, 7/9, right? Now I can go ahead and subtract my whole numbers. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 and 7/9.